There comes a moment in every person's life when they finally understand something life-changing. The world doesn't suddenly get better on its own. Circumstances don't magically shift. Opportunities don't fall from the sky. Life responds to you. Your growth, your mindset, your courage, your discipline, that is what shapes your destiny. You can wish for better days, you can pray for a breakthrough, you can hope for a miracle, but unless you rise to a higher level, everything around you stays the same. That's the tough truth, but it's also the most empowering one, because it means the power isn't out there, it's inside you. Think about it, every major change in your life came after you changed first. When you became more responsible, your results got better. When you became more disciplined, your habits improved. When you developed more confidence, new opportunities began to appear. It was never luck, it was never timing. It was always the person you were becoming. Most people are trapped in the belief that life should give them more while they remain the same. They want better relationships without becoming better partners. They want more money without becoming more valuable. They want respect without earning it, but life doesn't work that way. Life says, show me who you are becoming, and then I'll show you what you can have. When you work on yourself, your character, your knowledge, your habits, your skills, you begin transforming quietly. Nobody sees the inner work. Nobody knows the battles you're fighting inside. But one day, your results start telling the story for you. People start noticing the difference. They start seeing the strength in your eyes, the wisdom in your words, the discipline in your choices. And suddenly the world responds differently because you are different. Self-improvement is the root of every good fruit in life. It is the seed of success, the foundation of confidence, and the beginning of every breakthrough. And the beautiful part is this: you don't need anyone's permission to grow. You don't need approval. You just need the decision to improve yourself a little every single day. If you want to know what your future looks like, look at your daily disciplines. Not your wishes, not your intentions, not your dreams, your disciplines. Because it's the daily actions you repeat that build your character, strengthen your mind, and shape your destiny. Discipline is not dramatic, it's not loud or noticeable, it's not glamorous. It's usually the opposite. It's waking up early when you feel tired. It's reading when you'd rather watch something. It's saying no to distractions that everyone else says yes to. It's choosing growth over comfort, responsibility over excuses, progress over laziness. And at first, discipline doesn't feel good. It feels uncomfortable. It feels slow. It feels boring. But over time, it becomes your greatest source of power. Because discipline compounds. A small daily discipline becomes a habit becomes a strength becomes a transformation. People often ask, how do I change my life? But the real question is, what am I willing to do every day to become the person I want to be? The answer is always found in your discipline. Your future respect, your future confidence, your future success, they are all being built right now in the small decisions you make when nobody is watching. Discipline is the quiet architect of greatness. It builds slowly, silently, and steadily until one day your life reflects the work you've been doing within yourself. One of the greatest mistakes people make is believing that success comes from big, dramatic, overwhelming actions. They think they need a huge plan, a perfect moment, or a life-changing burst of motivation. But real life doesn't work that way. Real growth is not built on explosive effort, it's built on consistent effort. Small steps may seem insignificant today, but over time they become unstoppable. Every tiny improvement you make is like a drop of water falling on stone. One drop does nothing, but drip by drip, day by day, a mark begins to form, and eventually that stone is reshaped, not by force, but by consistency. Think about the people you admire. They didn't become great because they had one lucky day. They became great because they showed up again and again and again. Even when it wasn't exciting, even when nobody noticed, even when progress was slow, they trusted the process. They trusted time. Most people quit not because the journey is impossible, but because the results are not immediate. They want transformation in a week, success in a month, and greatness without patience. But the truth is simple. A little improvement every day beats a burst of effort once a month. If you read just 10 pages a day, you read 300 pages in a month. That's a full book. If you walk 20 minutes a day, that's 600 minutes of movement every month. If you save a few dollars consistently, you eventually build wealth. If you practice a skill for even a short time daily, mastery becomes inevitable. But you need consistency, not perfection. Not brilliance, just consistency. Small steps may not impress anyone today. They may not feel powerful. They may not feel productive. But in the long run, They become the invisible force that separates the dreamers from the achievers. Every time you choose a small step instead of doing nothing, you cast a vote for the future you desire. You tell life, I'm serious about who I'm becoming. And life listens. It rewards the consistent, the patient, the disciplined, not the occasional. The road to success is not built by giant leaps. It's built by daily footsteps, small, simple, steady actions that accumulate into a life you are proud of. Every day, whether you realize it or not, your habits are shaping your future. They are quietly building your character, your mindset, your health, your confidence, and your opportunities. Habits are powerful because they work even when you are not paying attention. A person does not decide their future. A person decides their habits, and their habits decide their future. Good habits move you forward without force. Bad habits pull you down without warning. They work silently. They work daily. They work automatically. If your habits are strong, your life becomes stronger. If your habits are weak, your life slowly falls apart. Look at anyone living a life of success, discipline, health, stability, confidence. What you're really seeing is not luck, not talent, not privilege. You're seeing a collection of good habits repeated over years. Look at anyone struggling deeply, lost time, anxiety, a lack of progress. What you're seeing again is habits. Maybe habits of procrastination, maybe habits of distraction, maybe habits of avoiding responsibility. But it all comes down to habits. Your habits are the daily bricks that build your destiny. Every choice is a vote, every action is a seed, every routine is a path. You may not control everything in life, but you do control your habits. You control what you feed your mind. You control what you do with your time. You control what you allow, what you tolerate, what you repeat. And you know what happens when you begin upgrading your habits? Your identity begins to shift. You start seeing yourself differently. You start believing in your capabilities. You start acting like a person who deserves success instead of someone who only dreams about it. Good habits are not small. They are not simple. They are not ordinary. They are the architecture of your destiny. There is a powerful shift that happens in life, a shift most people never experience because they never commit to working on themselves long enough to feel it. But when you truly begin improving who you are, your discipline, your mindset, your habits, your character, something remarkable begins to happen. The world starts changing around you. People treat you differently. Opportunities find you instead of you chasing them. Doors open that were once closed. And life begins to respond to you in ways you never imagined. Why does this happen? Because the world does not give you what you want. It gives you what you are prepared for. And the moment you elevate yourself, life rises to meet you. When you work on yourself every day, you begin carrying a different energy, a quiet confidence, a sense of direction, a belief in your own abilities. And people feel that. People trust that. People are drawn to that. You cannot attract success with a weak mind. You cannot build a strong future with poor habits. You cannot receive great opportunities with small thinking. But when you grow internally, mentally, emotionally, your entire life begins to reflect that growth. It's like planting seeds in the soil of your future. At first, nothing seems to happen. It's slow, it's quiet, but roots are forming, strength is developing, and before long, the seeds begin to bloom. When you work on yourself, you stop needing approval from others. You stop depending on motivation. You stop waiting for perfect conditions. You become self-driven, self-directed, self-respecting. And that is when life begins to transform. Opportunities that used to scare you now feel normal. Challenges that once overwhelmed you now become chances to grow. Obstacles that stopped you before now become part of your training because you're not the same person anymore. You are stronger, you are wiser, you are more capable. You become the type of person who life wants to reward because you've become a person of discipline, humility, consistency, and intention. And the world always responds to that combination. But here's the beautiful truth: working on yourself is not something you do for a month or a year. It's something you do for life, because every time you improve one area, another door opens. Every time you grow, life expands. Every time you evolve, your future becomes brighter. Working on yourself is the ultimate form of self-respect. It's telling the world, I am worthy of a better life. And life answers, then let me show you what's possible. And now here you stand, faced with a choice. To remain who you are or to become everything you were meant to be. To stay the same or to grow into a version of yourself that even you will look back at one day and say, I'm proud of who I became. So make the decision, make the commitment, work on yourself every day, especially on the days you don't feel like it. Because when you do, the world doesn't just notice, the world opens. The opportunities rise, The right people appear, and your life becomes a reflection of the person you decided to become. This is the path. This is the calling. This is the beginning of your transformation. Work on you every day and watch the world transform with you.